So today we will take a look on one extra way on how to get to debug mode and reason. And okay, so this is one thing. Another thing is that we will then take a look into debug mode itself, so that you can understand how the debugger looks like what's the interface and what you can find inside. And I will show you like the most important things that you will need to do in order to navigate inside of the program. So that's going to be for today. Let's take a look. So if you get back into the document that I'm creating for you in the Skool community, here is one more way how you can get into the debug mode, and it's through /h command. Many of you already know about this based on what you were telling me inside of the community, and here is how it works. Like, you have to type into a command line /h command and then hit enter. After you do that, then you get into debug mode. And when to use this method? You use this method when you need to get to debugger immediately after a specific user action in the SAP window. So if you scroll up and find the table that I'm creating for you right now, so you use /h method. I will have to change it right here. You use it only when you know that where the problem occurs, or after which specific action it occurs. So let me show you an example. If I go to SAP window, and let's say we get to transaction SE11. SE11, for those of you who don't know what this is that this is a transaction for displaying and maintaining data dictionary objects. So for example, database tables. So let's say if I go into the SE11 transaction, and let's say I want to explore database table, system database table called DD02L. Okay? Then I can take a look and display how this database table look like. So these are all the field names and so on. If you don't understand like what I'm talking about right now, that's fine. The only point that I want to show right here is that this transaction contains multiple actions that you can do inside. Okay, so let's say I want to explore like what's inside of data element tab name. So right now, if I double click on the tab name, it gets me to the transaction where I can take a look in, or it takes me into a screen where I can take a look, closer look into data element name. Okay, if I go back F3, let's say I want to check out what are the table contents. Okay, like what's the data, and I get redirected to another screen. So right now, let's say I want to explore further what happens if I double click on tab name. Okay, so if I double click on tab name, it gets me to data element screen. Okay, so if I go back, if I want to explore further what happens after double clicking, what I can do, I can type here /h, hit enter, and then I should be able to see debugging switched on. Okay, and now when I do any action from this screen, then SAP opens up a debugger window. So for example, double clicking on data element name. So if I double click, ABAP Debugger is starting, and it opens up in a new window, in a new session. And as you can see, from this point, I can start exploring further, like what's going on and so on. Okay, so for now, I'm going to press F8 just to show you like how it works. But that's another way how you can get to debug mode after knowing a specific place, after specific action that you do in a transaction. Okay, so the same would happen if I press /h, and let's say I would go to display the contents, which I showed you before. Okay, again, I go to a debug window, and it's going to take me somewhere else. I press F8 right now, or this button, to process further. Okay, so far you know about 4 ways how to get to debug mode, or how to enter debugger, and each of these ways serve you different needs. Okay, so the main point is to get you as close as possible to the place which you are looking for. All right, so right now, when we know about 4 simple ways how to get to debug mode, there are much more, which I will focus on later on. But with these 4 initial ways how to get to debug mode, what we are going to do, we are going to take a look into debugger window itself so that you understand what's in there. Okay, so let's do /h right now. And I decide that I double click, let's say, on the data element name. And what is important right now is to understand like what's this debugger window about and what you can find in here. Okay, so in the beginning, there is a menu from SAP. As always, like each and every SAP GUI window contains this. Application toolbar, the same as always. This is the name, title of the debugger session. This toolbar, we will focus on this in a few upcoming moments. For now, let's skip this one. And what we can see here down below, this is information like where are we located right now. So we are in this program. This is a program name. This is showing you like screen event. And also SAP is giving us information by default SY subverts and SY topics. The main window that we are going to look for is actually this code. And this is going to be important for you to understand what is going on, because otherwise, if I would show you like all the other possible options that are available in the debug mode, it's not going to help you that much if you don't really understand some level of ABAP. Okay, so let's take a look on this tab sequence. So if you click through let's start with desktop number 1. Okay, so there are 4 possible ways of a layout of a debugger, which is going to give you different layout, how the debugger look like and how you can explore and analyze existing programs. So desktop number 1, that's how it looks like. So in the upper window, there is a program and source code. Down below, there are all the variables that you can explore and analyze. In desktop number 2, on the left side, here is a program window. On the right side, here is a call stack, something that is called call stack or ABAP stack or screen stack. If you hear any of these, it's actually the same. Desktop number 3 is the source code on the left side and variables on the right side. And in a standard window, you can see on the left side source code, upper right side call stack, bottom right side variables. You can still change the look and feel of debugger. So for example, if you go to desktop number 1 and you want to change it, let's say you want to add, this one, new tool. Okay, so you click on new tool, and let's say we want to also add let's say call stack, for example. Okay, so then suddenly we have variables on the left side, call stack on the right side, and the source code which is on the upper right side. Okay, so since I personally don't like to have the source code that in a wide window, because usually the code is on the left side. So then what I can do is to maximize this vertically. Okay, so if I click on this button, okay, so at least you can see how it behaves. So if I maximize it vertically, then I see the variables in a big list on the left side, which is something that we don't want. So then if I want to get source code window to the left side right here, so firstly I need to make it maximize it horizontally, and then maximize it vertically as well. Okay, so now that's the way how you can do it. You can also swap this window, let's say with this window, so I can swap it then vertically. Okay, and that's actually how it looks like. So you can play around with the with this debugger window this way. Okay, and if you want to save this layout, you click on the layout button, and SAP will ask you if you really want to save it. For now, I will hit no, because I was just showing you like how you can do that by yourself. But in the end, I set it up. I set up my standard tab to do it, to display my debugger window in the way how you can see it right here. So ABAP stack is on the upper right side, and variables stack, or all the variables on the bottom right side as well. Okay, here are other tabs in a debugger, like structures, tables, objects, detailed data explorer. Like in my daily life, I barely go here and type here anything. Reason why is because if you display a variable right here inside of the variable list, which I will show you in upcoming moments, you will automatically be redirected to any of these tabs later on. So I will show you later on. Okay. In breakpoints, watch points tab, you will be able to see here all the breakpoints that you are going to create manually inside of the debug mode. So that's going to be the tab that I will show you later on, like how it's going to look like. Difference, you can compare two variables and check the differences between both of them. And inside of script, you can also automate some parts of a debugging. In my case, I haven't used this script part at all, or maybe once, but it was for a special reason. So usually you don't use these things. Even difference, like I usually compare two variables by myself just by taking a look at both of them. So for you, mainly what you will be using are the following tabs. Standard tab, which you will set up for yourself just once in the beginning, and that's actually it. That's going to be it. Later on, if you would and I will show you on one example in upcoming moments, from the buttons that you see right here in the whole ABAP debugger, main buttons that you will have to use are the following buttons: single step, execute step, return, and execute, continue, F8. Okay, and then potentially create a breakpoint, but I will show you like how you can do it not by clicking on in this toolbar, but that's actually all the 4 buttons or shortcuts that I will show you on the keyboard, and set up the debugger window this way so that you can start analyzing the program. Okay, so the task for you is to go to debug mode, for example, go /H in any transaction, and just get here to the debug mode. Make sure that you save the layout, for example, in the way that I'm having right now, so that you can explore and start analyzing existing programs soon.